Did you know that nearly 48 million Americans get sick every year from foodborne illness, and tragically, over 3,000 of them don't survive? Here's the part that hits closer to home. Many of those affected are seniors people just like you and me, and it's not always because of bad takeout or expired milk. In fact, the real danger might be hiding in plain sight, right inside your refrigerator. That's right, the very place we trust to keep food safe can, if used the wrong way, trigger illness, destroy nutrients, and quietly undermine our health. Most people have no idea. But here's the surprising truth. Some of the foods you're refrigerating right now might be doing more harm than good. And one of them, it's likely something you eat every single week, and it could be silently robbing your brain of vital nutrients. So here's the question. Could your fridge actually be making you sick? In this episode, we'll uncover, say, 3 everyday foods seniors should never refrigerate, and or coal. 3 that must be kept cold to avoid harmful bacteria and preserve their powerful nutrients. These aren't just tips, they're small but powerful choices that can protect your heart, your memory, your immunity, and even your independence. And if that matters to you, I invite you to stay with me until the end. If you find this video helpful, just comment one below that lets me know you're here and learning. And of course, subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made with you in mind. Let's take the first step together. Let's begin with a food that's almost a staple in every household: peanut butter. For many older adults, it's more than just a snack. It's a comfort food, a taste of childhood, a source of quick energy, and an easy way to get healthy fats and protein without much effort. It's smooth, satisfying, and often a reliable part of breakfast or a light lunch. But here's the surprising part. Refrigerating peanut butter, especially for seniors, may be doing more harm than good. At first glance, it seems harmless, maybe even helpful. You think cold means fresh, right? But in this case, refrigeration changes more than just the temperature. The oils in natural peanut butter start to harden, and the texture becomes thick and stiff. That might not seem like a big deal unless you're someone with arthritis, limited grip strength, or reduced hand mobility. Suddenly, that smooth spread becomes a daily frustration, even a physical struggle just to make a simple sandwich. But it goes deeper than just texture. Cold temperatures can actually damage the quality of the healthy fats in peanut butter, especially the monounsaturated fats that support heart health and reduce bad cholesterol. When moved in and out of the fridge, these fats become unstable. Over time, they oxidize, and oxidation contributes to inflammation, the very thing we're trying to avoid as we age. So that spoonful of peanut butter you're counting on for heart support, it could slowly start to work against you, not for you. And there's something else most people don't realize. Peanut butter naturally contains vitamin E, an antioxidant that supports brain health and helps fight oxidative stress in aging cells. But when exposed to cold storage and oxidation, vitamin E levels start to degrade. So while your body still thinks it's getting something beneficial, it's actually receiving less and less of what it needs most. This shift might be invisible, but it's real. And over time, it takes a toll nutritionally, physically, and even emotionally. Food for seniors isn't just about nutrients, it's about independence, routine, and joy. When spreading peanut butter becomes a battle, or when it tastes just a little bit off, that daily comfort is lost, and with it, a piece of your quality of life. So what's the fix? Simple. Store your peanut butter in a cool, dry pantry, away from heat and direct sunlight. Keep it tightly sealed, and it will stay soft, safe, and easy to use. Your hands will thank you. So will your heart. And if that surprised you, stick with me, because the next item might already be sitting in your fridge, slowly growing mold and losing its value. Now let's talk about something small but mighty: onions. They don't often get the spotlight, but they're the foundation of so many comforting home-cooked meals, soups, stews, stir-fries, you name it. Especially for seniors, that kind of food isn't just nourishment, it's tradition, it's connection, it's memory. But here's the problem, and it's a common one: storing whole onions in the refrigerator. Most of us do it without thinking twice, assuming it will keep them fresh longer. But in reality, refrigeration breaks down the very things that make onions so valuable. Onions are naturally wrapped in a papery skin designed to protect them in dry, well-ventilated environments, not cold, humid fridges. When stored in the fridge, moisture starts creeping in between the layers. That's when onions begin to soften, lose their firmness, and become more susceptible to mold and bacterial growth. For seniors with sensitive digestion or weakened immunity, even a small amount of contamination can be risky. And once you cut into a refrigerated onion, even if you store it in a sealed container, that moisture-rich environment can still promote bacterial spread. But there's more. Onions are a natural source of quercetin, a potent anti-inflammatory compound that helps relieve joint pain and support cardiovascular health. Unfortunately, cold temperatures speed up cellular breakdown, causing a loss of quercetin and other flavonoids. So while you might be eating an onion for its health benefits, those benefits may already be gone before it hits your plate. And let's not forget the emotional impact. When your onions taste dull, turn mushy, or fill your fridge with that lingering smell, it chips away at your confidence in the kitchen. When food doesn't behave like it used to, it's not just frustrating, it can make everyday cooking feel like a gamble. But the solution again is simple. Whole onions should be stored in a dry, dark, well-ventilated space, like a basket or mesh bag in the pantry. Give them room to breathe, and they'll reward you with flavor, texture, and nutrients that support your health instead of undermining it. Still with me? Good, because the next one might shock you even more. It's one of the most beloved fruits among seniors, and yet, your fridge might be silently robbing it of everything that makes it special. Let's talk about bananas. There's something deeply reassuring about them, isn't there? Soft, sweet, easy to digest. For many of us, bananas were one of the first fruits we ever ate and one of the few we continue to rely on as we grow older. They're comforting, convenient, and loaded with potassium fiber and natural energy. But here's where the mistake happens: refrigerating bananas. It seems harmless. Maybe you want to slow down the ripening or preserve them a little longer. But bananas are tropical fruits, and their enzymes aren't built to survive in cold environments. When placed in the fridge, bananas experience what's called cold injury. Their ripening process shuts down, and instead of sweetening their starches, stop converting to sugar. What you're left with is a banana that looks ripe, maybe even has a few dark spots, but tastes bland, starchy, and sometimes bitter on the inside. It's not just a matter of taste. Refrigeration destroys key antioxidants like dopamine and catechins, which support emotional health, brain function, and oxidative stress reduction, all critical for senior well-being. Worse yet, moisture can gather under the peel, especially near the stem of overripe bananas. That moisture becomes a breeding ground for mold, and for older adults with reduced immunity, even a small exposure can pose real danger. So what's the better path? Store bananas at room temperature, ideally hanging on a hook or placed in a fruit bowl where air can circulate freely. If they ripen too quickly, peel and freeze them for smoothies or baking. That way you preserve the nutrients and avoid waste. It's not just about saving a banana, it's about preserving what that banana can do for your body, your energy, your brain, and your emotional balance. So now you know: peanut butter, onions, and bananas. All incredibly common, incredibly comforting, and surprisingly vulnerable to cold storage. But what about the opposite? What about the foods that absolutely must be kept cold or else risk becoming dangerous, even toxic? That's exactly what we'll uncover next. Stay with me, because the next three foods could protect your gut, your heart, and your life. And if you're still watching and learning, just comment one below so I know you're here and walking this journey with me. Now, let's keep going. Let's start this section with something familiar: leftovers. There's a certain peace that comes from having a home-cooked meal waiting for you in the fridge. The smell, the warmth, the memory of making it. For many seniors, leftovers aren't just convenient. They're a way to stretch a budget, maintain independence in the kitchen, and hold on to the taste of home. But here's what most people don't realize: once the cooking stops, the risk begins. Cooked meats and prepared meals are still vulnerable even after they leave the stove. The moment they start cooling on the counter, bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and Clostridium perfringens begin to multiply. And these aren't just any bacteria, they thrive quietly and invisibly. In just 2 hours at room temperature, food can become a breeding ground. The catch: these bacteria don't change the smell or look of your food, so you might never know until it's too late. For younger folks, a little food poisoning might just mean an upset stomach. But for seniors whose immune systems are slower and more fragile, the symptoms can be much harder to catch and much more dangerous. A mild fever, dizziness, or confusion might be written off as something else, when in fact it's the body trying to fight off a foodborne illness. And if that illness triggers inflammation, it can worsen arthritis, strain the heart, or even impact the kidneys, all systems already working harder with age. But this is something you can control. The solution is simple, powerful, and immediate. Always refrigerate cooked meats and leftovers within 2 hours of cooking, and ideally even sooner. Store them in airtight containers and mark the date. Most leftovers are safest within 3 to 4 days. After that, even if they look fine, the risk becomes too great. It's a small habit, but it gives you peace of mind and, more importantly, protection. If this part hit home for you, leave a quick one in the comments to let me know you're watching closely. And don't worry, it's never too late to improve a kitchen habit. Let's move on to something creamy, comforting, and quietly risky if you're not careful. Now let's talk about a category many of us grew up with: dairy. A glass of milk with breakfast, a slice of cheese with lunch, a spoonful of yogurt after dinner. These small rituals bring familiarity, warmth, and even a sense of security. For seniors, dairy is also a nutritional powerhouse, rich in calcium, vitamin D, and B12, all of which support bone strength, cognitive health, and energy levels. But here's the part we need to understand: dairy must be kept cold always. Milk, cheese, yogurt, they may seem mild and gentle, but they're also ideal environments for bacterial growth. When left out even for a short while, their internal structure begins to change. Bacteria multiply quietly and quickly. And remember, as we age, our stomach acid becomes less acidic, and our immune defenses aren't what they used to be. What might cause minor discomfort in a young person could result in serious illness or hospitalization for an older adult. The consequences of mishandled dairy are more than just a sour taste. Digestive upset, joint flare-ups, fatigue, and long-lasting inflammation can all follow. If you're managing conditions like arthritis, heart disease, or irritable bowel symptoms, even one bad dairy product can push your system beyond its limit. And unlike spoiled meat, spoiled dairy doesn't always smell bad, so it's easy to miss the warning signs. So here's what to do. Keep your fridge set to below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. Store all dairy in sealed containers, return it to the fridge immediately after use, and always check the expiration date. And one more tip: keep your milk and yogurt off the fridge door. That area warms up every time it opens. Place them on a middle shelf where temperatures stay consistent. If this is something you're going to check today, let me know by leaving an emoji or the word dairy in the comments. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that protect us the most. Now, for one final item, one you might not expect, and one that seniors absolutely depend on. Last but certainly not least, leafy greens. They may look fragile, but don't be fooled. These vibrant leaves, spinach, kale, romaine, arugula, are some of the most powerful foods for seniors. Just a handful a day can support memory, mood, bone strength, vision, and circulation. They're rich in folate, vitamin K, lutein, and dozens of antioxidants that help keep your mind sharp and your body strong. But leafy greens are also among the most sensitive foods in your kitchen. The moment they're harvested, they begin to degrade, and if they're left at room temperature for too long, even just a few hours, they start to wilt, lose nutrients, and become a magnet for bacteria. E. coli, listeria, and other dangerous microbes thrive in damp, warm creases, even when the greens still look fine to the eye. The tragedy is that the very foods meant to protect your health can turn against you if stored improperly. You lose out on folate, critical for brain health. You lose vitamin K, essential for blood clotting and bone density. And if contamination sets in, you're at risk for a bacterial infection that can trigger digestive distress, inflammation, or even dehydration. For an aging body, these are risks that linger sometimes for days, even weeks. So how do you keep these greens doing what they're meant to do? Store them in your fridge's crisper drawer, ideally wrapped in a paper towel to absorb extra moisture. Place them in a breathable bag or perforated container. Avoid tightly sealed plastic bags, those trap humidity. This small routine helps greens stay fresher, longer, and more powerful nutritionally. If you're someone who loves a daily salad or adds spinach to your omelette, this tip is especially for you. Try it out this week and share your experience below. I'd love to know which greens are your go-to and how you're keeping them fresh. So there you have it: cooked meats, dairy products, leafy greens. 3 items that must be kept cold, not just to taste good, but to protect your immune system, your digestion, and your energy. These are not just meals. They're your medicine, your memory, your strength. And as we've seen today, your refrigerator is a tool, but only if you know how to use it. Coming up next, we'll take a step back and reflect on everything we've covered. Because knowing which foods go where is more than kitchen trivia. It's a daily act of self-care. Still with me, comment? Still here, and let's move into our final message together. So now that we've looked inside our kitchens, inside our routines, and maybe even inside a few long-held habits, let's take a step back and breathe. Because here's the truth: your fridge isn't the enemy, but how you use it can be. It's easy to think of food storage as something automatic, a habit we've done for decades without much thought. But for seniors especially, those small, quiet choices we make in the kitchen every day add up. They can either protect our immune system or put it under strain, support our energy or slowly deplete it, help our medication work better or quietly interfere. And the good news is you have the power to shift it. Take 15 minutes this week to reorganize your fridge and pantry. Label your leftovers. Move your onions to a basket. Keep bananas out on the counter, not chilled in the back corner. And here's a small tip with a big impact tape. A simple list on your fridge door. Do not refrigerate peanut butter. Onions, bananas. A gentle daily reminder that makes smarter eating a little easier. This journey isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because when we understand the why behind what we eat and how we store it, we begin to take better care of ourselves, not out of anxiety, but out of self-respect. And here's something I'd love for you to do next. Share this video with someone you love, a friend, a neighbor, a son or daughter. You never know whose kitchen this message might help. Drop a comment below and tell me one lesson you're going to apply this week. Just one small shift, that's all it takes to start. And if you found value in this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with this growing community of seniors who are choosing to live with intention and health every single day. Looking for a simple way to remember what you learned today? Check the link below for a free printable fridge smart. What to keep in and out. A checklist you can stick right on your fridge or pantry door. You've spent these last few minutes investing in your well-being. That matters. That counts. And it's never too late to make a better choice, not just to live longer, but to live better. Until next time, take care of your food, and it will take care of you.